Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Good evening, town meeting members, town staff, and any Lynch families who may be joining us this evening. I'm pleased to present for consideration a request to fund the early feasibility study, estimated at no more than $1.5 million, for the replacement of the Lynch Elementary School in partnership with the Massachusetts School Building Authority, or MSBA. Much like the background in your town meeting packets, my presentation tonight will make some brief mentions of the Morocco Elementary School. This is intentional to provide context for our consideration of Article 10, which follows. Most of you will recognize the key 5-year goals set forth in the School Facilities Master Plan. Phase 1 of McCall's expansion opened in 2018, and the much more ambitious Phase 2 is on budget and on schedule to welcome students in the fall. The two largest and most ambitious projects, however, are the replacement of the Lynch and Morocco elementary schools. Both are near or above capacity, have inflexible designs for today's elementary education, and in many instances, building systems have outlived their useful lives. As we all know, building systems and components do not last indefinitely. The town's VFA facilities database suggests that by the year 2030, we face over $32 million in renewal and replacement costs at Lynch and nearly $20 million at Morocco. Of course, we don't have these kinds of resources at our disposal in the stabilization funds, but even if we did, the school committee prefers the wholesale replacement of both elementary schools, given the compounding restrictions of their designs, age, and space constraints. Therefore, in the spring of 2017, with the 10-year Facilities Master Plan in final draft form, the school committee, with the support of the Select Board, made a strategic decision to seek partnership with the State School Building Authority for the replacement of both the Morocco and Lynch elementary schools. Application to the MSBA is a time-intensive and competitive process, with between 60 to 90 projects submitted by districts each year, and sometimes fewer than 10 making the cut for invitation into the pre-schematic eligibility phase of the core replacement program. The MSBA partners with communities to support the design and construction of educationally appropriate, flexible, sustainable, and cost-effective educational facilities. Their dedicated revenue stream comes from the state sales tax, in which 1 penny of every sales tax dollar goes to support the agency and its grant programs. You can quickly tell then that the appeal of partnership with the MSBA is fundamentally a financial one, as districts receive substantial reimbursements for every project cost invoice, including those associated with the feasibility phase, which we are considering this evening. Our recent experience with the MSBA on 2 major projects underscores this point. Partnership on the replacement of the Vincent Owens School from 2010 to 2013 saw a 40% reimbursement rate on a nearly $30 million project. And the following reconstruction and expansion of Winchester High School yielded nearly 42% in reimbursements to the town, or a grant of over $44 million. In both instances, the participation with the MSBA directly lowered our net project costs, which meant less borrowing impacting our tax bills. The town's Educational Facilities Planning and Building Committee, or EFPBC for short, oversaw both of these projects on behalf of Winchester. The EFPBC's diverse representation of architects, engineers, contractors, and other building professionals brings helpful oversight to our large school building projects, and they will be similarly engaged in the Lynch replacement project. When the MSBA partners with a district, it's because the board finds the project eligible and a priority over other submittals based on an evaluation of specific criteria published in the SOI process. In this instance, the school committee and select board identified 3 eligible criteria for consideration of the Morocco and Lynch elementary schools: existing enrollment and overcrowding, future space constraints and impact associated with additional enrollment growth, and finally, the existing physical plan's age, configuration, and condition. As I mentioned at the outset tonight, the school committee opted in 2017 to submit statements of interest to the MSBA for both the Morocco and Lynch elementary schools. Our applications were denied. We tried again in 2018, at which time the authority sent their senior study team to Lynch and the executive director paid a personal visit to Morocco. Still, though, no invitation came. After our third attempt last spring, the district was notified in December of the Lynch School's invitation to the eligibility period of the MSBA's core replacement program. This 270-day pre-schematic phase began officially only in April. It involves a more thorough documentation of project need, existing physical plant, enrollment information, and educational programming. While there are no direct costs to us associated with eligibility, other than our time, the period closes with a vote by the MSBA board to enter into the feasibility study phase with Winchester. A prerequisite for the board vote is our commitment to funding the feasibility study, which will develop the space program and schematic design for a new Lynch, along with much needed cost estimates. It is this commitment to funding that is the subject of Article 9 before you this evening. We are very fortunate for the Lynch project to have been selected. In the most recent 2019 MSBA cycle, 61 statements of interest from 51 districts were submitted for consideration in the core replacement program. Only 11 projects made the shortlist, 5 of them elementary schools. Taking a look again at the 3 criteria. Due to sharp growth by the fall of 2015, just 2 years after redistricting with the expanded Vincent Owen, Lynch was 9% over its design capacity of 420 K-5 students, with an enrollment of 459. This figure excludes the nearly 90 youngsters attending the district's preschool program at Lynch. Since that time, enrollment has grown each year, with several specialty or support spaces taken for additional classrooms along the way. For the 16-17 school year, the superintendent moved 2 of Lynch's preschool classrooms to the new Vincent Owen, though this building was not designed to accommodate a preschool. A new Lynch, which takes a key step forward with your support this evening, will include an expanded and consolidated preschool program once again, this time purposely designed for our youngest learners. This fall, Lynch welcomed 471 elementary students, and since then, 11 more, for a total of 482 as of last week. 5% growth in 4.5 years. As difficult as our present-day enrollment and space constraints are, our future has us even more concerned. Based on the town's census data and kindergarten screenings, administration is expecting 505 students at Lynch in the fall, a 10% increase over FY16. This requires 26 sections in grades K-5 in a building with only 21 spaces intended for such a purpose. Winchester's planning department has seen no letup in our rate of demolition permits for larger homes since the 2017 master plan. Multi-unit projects in the central business district we highlighted in 2017 are now complete and on the market, while others are in development pipeline and moving forward. There continues to be progress towards 40B affordable housing development as well. Although an appeal was recently filed with Superior Court, the 96-unit project off Cambridge Street was recently approved by Land Court. The Lynch District 40B project on River Street has been granted approval by the ZBA and is estimated to bring between 86 to 90 students into our district, at least 30 of them elementary students. Taking stock of all the development the planning department is tracking, we estimate over 340 new units of housing to come online, much of it in the next 18 to 24 months. This large number does not include the Waterfield project or the development of the Thai Logistics Holton Street property, which was recently acquired by Bain Capital. With respect to the third and final criteria, let's come back to the Lynch School's configuration, age, and condition. At approximately 84,000 square feet, Lynch was designed as Winchester's junior high school and built from 1960 to 61. It's a sprawling, mostly one-story building with both flat and sloped roof areas, framed with light steel columns and beams. There hasn't been a major building renovation or addition to the school since, beyond minor space alterations to accommodate the district's preschool program and a limited bathroom renovation in 2012. The school's 21 general education classroom spaces vary in size to as little as 800 square feet, well below today's design standards and MSBA guidelines. Beyond the preschool program being split between Lynch and Vincent Owen, all available instructional spaces have been repurposed into classrooms. This has led to a space shortage for special education, small group and individualized meeting spaces, reduced space for library, media, and technology, teacher workspaces in the hallways, and no available space to add additional classrooms. One of the school's 2 boilers is original, while the other is 16 years old. Lynch's fire alarm system was updated in 2009, and the last improvement to the building envelope, a new roof, came shortly thereafter. The exterior windows are steel-framed, single-pane, and original to the building, as are most doors, and are in poor condition. The HVAC and electrical systems also date to 1960. Let's take a quick look around the exterior. One of Lynch's most striking design strengths is the amount of natural light brought into the school thanks to the floor-to-ceiling windows along the corridors at the school's courtyards and entry and exit points. Unfortunately, with 1960s design and technology, this comes at a tremendous cost today. We calculate that Lynch's exterior wall assemblies have an R value no greater than 9, while today's standards set the minimum at 25. Portions of the north and west ends of Lynch were designed partially sunken, some 3 feet below adjacent grade, as the image on the left represents. This has led to water infiltration, flooring failures, and expensive repairs over the years. To the right, we see what happens when carbon steel is exposed to the elements for generations. To be clear, Lynch has been maintained and repainted over the years, but this eventually becomes a larger and more expensive battle with time. At the rear of Lynch, we see representative rot and deterioration in the exterior openings. Note the original windowsills are a porous stone. These absorb water, which then drives spalling and cracking in our winter freeze-thaw cycles. Broken stone sills then permit further deterioration of the envelope. On my recent visit last month, I found the pedestal to Lynch's bird bath with a rather sad note attached. If anyone knows the whereabouts of the bowl, our Lynch teachers would really appreciate its return. Your support tonight is an essential early step as we move towards a vote on the feasibility study for a Lynch replacement school that began with our notice of invitation in December. The administration and school committee will continue our data collection and provide project vetting with the state through September. And the MSBA Executive Board has scheduled a vote by the end of the year on moving into feasibility with the project. I'd like to underscore tonight that securing local vote authorization, the subject of Article 9, is a prerequisite to the board vote in December. If we fail to earn your support to fund the feasibility study before then, Winchester will be kicked out of the core replacement program and will have to start from scratch again, further delaying a new Lynch for 2 or 3 years. After RFPs, contracting, and team building with the EFPBC in the spring, we estimate design work could begin by the summer. With options for review with Winchester in the fall of 2021, and a final preferred design option for the new Lynch submitted to the MSBA for approval in the winter of 2022. After a period of further design development and reconcile cost estimates, we anticipate coming back to 2022 fall town meeting to consider the project funding agreement and subsequently a town-wide ballot question to fund construction, just as we did for Vincent Owen and the Winchester High School. At this time, we envision a new Lynch open for students no sooner than the fall of 2025. If this seems like a long way away, it is. But a side-by-side comparison with key milestones in the Vincent Owen project illustrate a timeline only 5 months longer overall. In this instance, for a Lynch larger than the new Vincent Owen, and construction on an occupied site. Town meeting members, I'm so thankful for the opportunity to have been able to present Article 9 to you this evening. Tonight is a moment that the school committee, administration, select board, and many town officials have been looking forward to since we voted the school facilities master plan nearly 3 years ago. Our past projects with the MSBA have been successful, innovative, and cost-effective, yielding outstanding school facilities so supportive of teaching and learning. Tonight, I ask your support towards a new and exciting Lynch Elementary School, one that will continue to nurture our students' lifelong love for learning for decades more to come. Thank you.